Welcome back, 4th grade. I'm super happy that you are here. Today we're going to have our last class before we go on vacation. So I hope that you are as ready as I am. Please don't forget that it's important to say today's activities. Even though if tomorrow we start vacation, please try not to take your homework or activities to your vacation, so you can enjoy your vacation without homework, without activities, without students book, anything, so you just can relax. I want to say thank you so much because you've been doing an excellent job at home with your activities, students book, workbooks, step inside, your pictures, sending me your videos. Thank you so much for your excellent job. I appreciate all the work that you do at home with your family and by your own, because I know that sometimes you do your activities alone by your own. And thank you so much for doing that. Keep working like that. It's really important to do it. And as you may know, today we're going to start by doing a review about the activities that we did at the previous video, because yesterday we had our live class and it was really amazing to see you there. And I'm always happy when I see you, and I hope you feel that way too. So, in the last video, we learned about adjectives, comparative and superlative adjectives. Remember that first of all, we need to distinguish when we are talking about a comparative and when we are talking about a superlative. So it's important to know that we use a comparative when we are comparing one thing with another thing. And a superlative is when we are comparing one thing with two or more, okay? So for example, in here, this is the adjective, then we have the adjective into a comparative because we are comparing this robot with this little one, okay? We are comparing one with two, okay? One with another one. And then we have a superlative because we are comparing this one with two, okay? Remember that superlatives, you compare one with two or more. Not necessarily they need to be two. They can be a lot of people, a group. For example, I'm the tallest in the class, okay? I'm comparing myself with all of the class. So you are, I think, 14 students or 13, something like that. So we have some rules that I don't want to pay attention to this because right now we are going to check it. Then we check some examples about the shell collection that Pablo has, is an example, and Aaron also has the biggest collection. Then we did students book page 101, that if you didn't send this picture to me, remember that it's super important. Don't take homework to your vacation. So remember, I was telling you that today we're going to check about comparison of adjectives. We need to pay attention to the structure of the adjectives in the real way, like for example, tall, big, small, old, new, young, bad, good, green, cool, nice, happy, funny, etc. These are adjectives, and you can imagine that there exists a lot of adjectives, but we need to pay attention because we have some rules depending on how many syllables does the adjective have. If it ends with Y, if it ends with, I don't know what else, with a consonant and a vowel, etc. So you can pay attention to this. Remember that in this side, I'm showing you comparative way, and in this one, the superlatives. Remember that if your adjective ends or it's just one syllable, you just need to add ER if it's a comparative, EST if it's a superlative. What happens if the one syllable adjective already ends with E? Si ya termina en E, ¿qué hacemos? We just add R or we just add ST. No necesitamos agregar otra E de la que ya tiene, ¿ok? If it ends with one vowel and a consonant, for example, thin, then we have the vowel I, N, we need to double. For example, big, el que ya vimos acá, Aquí, big, it's vowel and consonant. We need to double that consonant at the end, la última consonante. In this case will be the G. And we will say with double G, bigger, biggest with double G. It's the same for comparative and superlative, okay? When we have two syllables ending in Y, like busy, happy, funny, we need to put away that Y and change it into an I and say busier or funnier or happier, así con IER, okay? And then we will say funniest, busiest, etc. If we have three syllables or more in our adjective, we're not going to add ER, we're not going to add EST. We are going to add more creative, more famous, more attractive, okay? If we have a long adjective, we need to add more if it's a comparative, and most if it's a superlative. Most popular, most famous, most beautiful, most amazing, etc. Okay? So irregular, remember that in this case we're checking about good and bad. Good in comparative would be better. Superlative, the best. Bad would be comparative worst, or the worst into a superlative. Okay, so examples. James has an amazing Funko Pop collection, okay? Our adjective in here is amazing, right? Okay, Ariana has a more amazing collection. Okay, so I'm comparing Ariana's Funko Pop collection with James' collection, okay? I'm comparing one with another one. So for that reason, I'm using a comparative, okay? Y no estoy agregando ER because it's a long adjective. Amazing, okay? Then we have Selena has the most amazing collection of all. So in this case, I'm comparing Selena's Funko Pop collection with Ariana's and James' collection, okay? Ya estoy comparando la de ella con las otras dos, okay? So there's the picture in here. It's an example, okay? Then we have another example. This is a conversation between two people or three, I'm not sure. But let's pay attention to this. Look, Valentine has a can collection. These are the cans, okay? Can you see that can? That one over there is so cool. And the adjective is cool, okay? The other person says, no, I think this one is cooler. Okay, so I'm comparing this can with the other one. So for that reason, I'm using a comparative. Then the other person says, no, you're all wrong. This one is the coolest of all. Okay, so I'm comparing this can with this one and this one. So for that reason, this is a superlative. Okay, I'm adding EST. Okay, that's it. So let's check the activities. We have students book pages 102 and 103. These are just reading comprehension activities. So let's check activity 13 on page 102. Listen and read how habits change with the times. So you have content words. If you want to understand better, you can find on the internet, use your dictionary, use one. Habits in the past. So let's pay attention to this because we need that information to do the next activities that we have in 14. So let's listen to the audio really careful.
Student's book, page 102, activity 13. Listen and read. How have hobbies changed with the times? Hobbies in the past.
Like fashion, hobbies change with the times. In our days, a lot of hobbies use technology. We take digital photographs and post them online, and kids play computer games. But what did people used to do before this technology? Let's take a look at some hobbies that were popular more than 100 years ago. Many of the sports that we play today were popular in the past too. Soccer became popular and had rules for the first time in the 19th century. Many soccer clubs were started by employers so that workers could play and stay fit. Soccer was a man's sport, but both men and women played tennis and croquet. Unfortunately, long skirts at that time did not help women with their game at all. Many women and girls spent their spare time doing sewing and embroidery. They used a needle and thread to make tiny stitches on a piece of fabric. They made clothes and accessories, such as scarves and gloves. They also made home decorations. They created beautiful pictures of flowers, birds, and other patterns, and they used to embroider cushions, tablecloths, and rugs. Girls in the 19th century used to play with dolls and dollhouses. At that time, toys were handmade. The dolls' heads were often made of china, and the bodies were made of wood or calico. Rocking horses were also very popular. They were made of wood, and their tails were made of real horsehair. Boys used to play with toy trains and railways. Finally, people in the 19th century loved nature, so one popular hobby was collecting and drawing butterflies. People used to catch butterflies in nets and fix them on special boards with pins. They used to draw pictures that showed all the details and colors of the beautiful insects. Past or present, hobbies are a great way to pass the time. Also, the most important thing is they help us show our creativity and use our imagination.
Okay, activity 14 says, look at 13, the reading. It says, correct and make true sentences. Okay, so this means that the sentences that we have in here might be false. Okay, so you need to check and correct them with the right information. In the 19th century, number 1, children used to play computer games. It is false, but what did they used to play? You need to write the correct answer. Number 2, soccer didn't have rules. Okay, that's false, I think, too. You need to correct it. Number 3, only men play tennis. That's false. You need to correct that information, too. Number 4, women and girls used to make toys. Okay, think big activity. Which hobby would you like to try? From these ones in here, in the text. Were the hobbies in the article ever popular in your country? Are they popular now? So do you think these hobbies that we're reading here are popular nowadays? Yes or no? Okay, so when you finish, I don't know what this picture looks so blurry. I did what I could do. Page 103, activity 15 says, read quickly match collections A to C. Sculptures, B, information about UFOs, C, hair, and you have content words in here. Okay, so you're going to match these titles with the text in here, number 1, 2, and 3, A, B, or C, okay? You're going to match them. Puedes escribir la letrita por aquí en algún lado, okay? So you need to do this by your own, and when you finish reading this and doing this, okay, now we are going to listen to the audio. Primero vas a hacer esto y ya que termines vas a darle play para seguir escuchando y escuchar la lectura. Now it says, listen and read. Then choose the correct answers. Ok, ya debiste haberlo leído, así que ahora voy a poner el audio para que podamos hacer esta actividad. Ok, so you can, it says choose the correct answer, so you can underline or circle, I don't know what.
Student's Book, page 103.
It's up to you.
Activity 16. Listen and read. Then choose the correct answers. The world's weirdest collections.
Think of museums, and you might think of history, dust, and very old things. However, some museums are famous not for old things, but for their unusual collections. Read on to find out about 3 weird museums around the world.
1.
In Avanos, Turkey,
you can find a hair museum. It all started when a potter from the town was saying goodbye to a friend who was leaving the town. This friend gave the potter a lock of her hair, and he put it in his shop. Many people wanted to leave a lock of their own hair behind too, so the museum was born. Now there are thousands of different locks of hair in the museum. Twice a year, the potter invited people with the most beautiful hair to come back and have pottery lessons for free. 2. The only way you can reach another interesting museum is underwater, so visitors have to be good at snorkeling. The Museum of Underwater Art, inside the National Marine Park of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, displays a large number of sculptures. Some of the sculptures were made by the British artist Jason de Carys Taylor. He wanted his art to be part of underwater life in the ocean. Plants, corals, and other marine life make his sculptures their home, and so they become part of the artwork. 3. Many people believe that a UFO landed in Roswell, New Mexico, USA in 1947. If you want to know more about UFOs, you can visit the International UFO Museum and Research Center there. Although there aren't any real UFOs on display, there's a big collection of information about UFO sightings. The center also holds a UFO festival every year at the museum. Experts from around the world come to talk about the latest news in UFO research.
Okay, so the sentences that you needed to circle or underline the correct answer. Number 1, the hair museum displays hair from the potter or different people. Number 2, people must walk a long way or swim to visit the Museum of Underwater Art. Number 3, plants, corals, and their other marine life live in the sculptures or made sculptures in the ocean. Number 4, the UFOs museum. You can see a real UFO. You can learn about UFOs. Okay, think big activity. Which museum would you like to visit? From these ones, which one would you prefer and why? That's it for today. Don't forget that you need to send pictures of these 2 pages with today's date and your name. That's it for today. Now, if you are ready, if you've done this, you are ready and free to enjoy your vacation. Please don't forget to stay safe. Take care of yourself and your family. Enjoy your vacation, and please don't forget to come back on April. So to come back on April ready to do a lot of activities. We're going to be relaxed because we started with this unit, but be ready for this. Remember to come back and be excited about doing the activities. That's it for today. I'm going to miss you so much, but I hope you enjoy your time, your free time. I'll see you on April. Have a nice and beautiful, beautiful time. Goodbye.